So there's this test called work to corner that's an alignment test of sorts where basically users will activate snapping, which will give them dots, and then inside the snap panel activate static dots, which will give them static dots. This means that when you hover over a dot and you roll the wheel twice, you're able to basically look at alternative alignment points, giving us this basic shape. So after creating this shape and performing our first cut, we are now basically working the corner. So I'm just going to grab these edges and just bevel them manually, which gives us something like this. And pressing Q, we can just set our origin to face this direction with set origin. So now we have a very specific origin being set for this area, which doesn't really mean anything except that whenever we cut off a section, we now have that same origin set. And whenever we basically draw a box, we want to be able to radiate this around this particular object. So by shift selecting both of them, we can basically perform a radial array. I'll roll the segments down to 3, maybe press A to lower the amount of adjustment. And just like that, we have basically gotten started. However, because of the way that this particular shape's origin is, if I try to mirror this object on itself, it's not going to work out. So I need to select both these objects, and then I can mirror this object across this object's origin, which will give me something that's a little bit more equilateral. And then I could just move it out on this local Y in order to expand it if need be. So from here, now whenever I perform a radial array, we get something that's a little bit more even. So in this update, we improve the ability to use the active element origin set for Boxcutter, meaning that if we draw a shape and we hold shift in order to keep this live, we now have the same origin as the target that we've cut from and the same rotation, meaning that we can now mirror this across itself without having to select a target. And then we're able to just select the same empty and just simply radiate this and perform our array without any sort of issue. I'll press Alt V, E, and E just to make things a little bit more visual. But just like that, we are now in business. So I'm just going to demonstrate one more time. Shift to live, Alt X, we will mirror this, select the empty, and simply just recycle the same empty so we don't have to create a whole ton of empties. So whenever it comes to getting this orientation right, I'll press D and we'll change our orientation from nearest edge to maybe nearest edge. Let's try that again. Let's try local, and local will do it. We'll shift it to live, Alt X, mirror it on itself because it has the same origin. Shift select the empty, radial array, and just like that, we are now able to work the corner a lot easier just using the active element origin whenever it comes to this particular scenario of working around a centralized radial area.